Hi everyone, this is Crafty Decoria and I hope you're all doing great. So today's Dollar Tree Craft with me is a very quick and simple but fun DIY. I'll be using different items from the Dollar Tree to dress up these Dollar Tree pumpkin wreath forms. So I will be making 3. If you care to see how I put them together, then keep on watching. Okay, so to begin, I've laid out my long sleeve shirt on my table and I have the front side facing down. So the back of the shirt is facing up. Now I'm just going to go ahead and take my wreath form and I'm going to insert it inside of the t-shirt. And have my stem come out at the top where the collar is. Okay, so now I am going to cut some of this shirt off. I purchased a extra large because when I'm using the shirts for DIYs, I figure I might as well go with the largest size because I'm getting more fabric for my $1.25 here in Canada. So I'm just going to go right under the armpit. I'll go probably an inch more and I'm going to cut that excess of the shirt off and then I can use that for another pumpkin or another DIY altogether. I'm going to take my hot glue and I'm just going to position my collar here exactly how I want it to fit around the stem. So I'll take my hot glue and I'll just fold that over onto the wire and glue that in place. Here I have the wreath form with the back facing up. So I've taken the front of the shirt and I've pulled it nice and snug all along the bottom, and now I will glue that down. So I've glued the bottom of the shirt. Now I have my sleeves, which there's still really baggy areas in those sections. So I'm just going to take the sleeves and I'm going to tie them in a knot, pulling pretty snug. Now you could also just cut the sleeves off and then just glue it around, but I just tie them together and then I can cut them off here, or I can just tuck them under the sleeve and then glue them in place so that you don't see them, just like that. So then of course, now that I've tied it like this, there still is, as I said, some baggy sections. So I'm just going to take my hot glue and then tuck it all nice in place so that it is fitted around that wreath form. My fabric is now nicely wrapped around the wreath form. I will say that if you want a really nice tight fitting look to this pumpkin, I went ahead and used my needle and thread and just hand stitched some stitches there. I like using the needle and thread because I can pull it really tight and then stitch it in place. Definitely you can just use the glue. I just found that I could really pull it tight with the needle and thread. Another thing I want to say is that material that I had glued to these pieces on the inside of the wreath form, I actually ended up taking them off the metal and then just tucking it down at the bottom, because I found that with that extra layer here, when I do go and place my lights on the inside, the light is not going to shine through as nicely as if it was just the one layer. So I just took the glue off, that extra material off the wire, and then just tucked it down. If you don't want to tuck it down, you can just go ahead and cut that before you glue it in the first place. But I really love how this has turned out. Now I'm going to take my scrap pieces of nautical rope, and I'm just going to take my hot glue and then wrap the nautical rope all the way around the stem until it is completely covered. Finished wrapping my stem. I also at the very bottom just left one of the rows loose so that if I want to hang this, then I can just place a hanger right through the bottom of this, and I don't have to worry about gluing anything to the back to hang this up. So now I'm going to go ahead and add some acrylic paint. So I have the Dollar Tree burnt umber, and I'm just going to put a little bit of this in a dish. I also have a cosmetic wedge, and I'm going to apply the paint to the wedge, and then I'm going to take most of the paint off because I don't want this to be heavily applied to the fabric. I just want a little bit of brown going on the white, and I'll apply that now. So I'm just going right over that metal from the wire wreath. Just like that. So I'll continue to do the other ones, and then all I have left to do is add my lights to this and light it up. Here is my pumpkin all painted up, and I love how it looks. You saw that I went on to use my paintbrush to just do a little bit more shading along the outside of the pumpkin, along the top, and I just love the burnt umber with the nautical rope. So now all I have left to do is to add my lights inside this pumpkin. And what I love about this pumpkin is that the shirt acts as a pouch. So now all I have to do is take my wire LED light set and then toss my battery pack in there and then just add the lights. And if I want, I can just loosely lay them in there, or I could attach them to the wire wreath form. So let me go ahead, set that up, and show you how beautiful this pumpkin looks once it is lit up. Okay guys, so here is my pumpkin wreath form from the Dollar Tree, all dressed up and lit with a little embellishment. I absolutely love this pumpkin. So you can see that I ended up adding the lights to the inside, and again, I just love this pumpkin because the lights are contained nicely on the inside. I don't have to worry about any wires being seen. It's just tucked nicely inside this little pouch that was made with the shirt. And there are 10 lights on this strand. These were the original LED wire lights when Dollar Tree first started carrying them, but if you buy them now, you can get them with the 16 lights, which would illuminate the pumpkin even more. But it is morning here, so it is not dark at all, just a little bit dim, and it's very much illuminated. You can't tell as well on camera, but I absolutely love it. And then the little stem with the nautical rope fits perfectly with this burlap leaf. And these are the 5-pack burlap leaves that the Dollar Tree carries. It has the wire on the back so that you can form them to the shape you want. But I think it is so pretty. And then of course the painted lines where the metal is. I absolutely love it, and I definitely will be making more of these. Whether you decide to hang this on a door or just place it in an area of your house where you want to light it up at night, I think these are definitely very beautiful pieces that were so easy to put together, very inexpensive, and yet you're given a beautiful high-end look. Okay, so moving on to pumpkin number 2. So it's very similar to the first pumpkin, only with this pumpkin I will be using the woven rug with the tassels. I have the nautical rope by Craft Decor, some white acrylic paint, and of course my pumpkin wreath form. So let's jump into pumpkin number 2. Okay, so to begin, I have my woven rug with the good side facing down so my seams are up. Now I need to cut both ends of my woven rug, but I do want to keep all my tassels all intact. So what I'm gonna do is take my hot glue gun and I'm gonna run 2 or 3 lines of glue all the way down. And once that's dried, I'm gonna cut that strip off so that I still have all my tassels joined together. My 2 ends of tassels cut off here. Now I've just taken the woven rug and I've centered it on top of the pumpkin wreath form. I'm going to glue it right at the base of the stem, at the bottom of the pumpkin, and then on each side of the pumpkin. Here you can see the points where I glued it, right at the base of the stem, the bottom of the pumpkin, and then the sides. And what I've actually done is when I placed my glue, I had enough so that I could turn it over the wire. So now that I have my points glued in place, I'm going to start from one point of the pumpkin and just start wrapping the material over and gluing it to the inside. And when I get to corners where I have a little bit more, I can just round the corners off so I don't have the extra material inside of the pumpkin. Taking my Dollar Tree nautical rope, I'm going to go ahead and wrap my pumpkin stem. So now I have finished wrapping the stem and it is a perfect match. I love this pumpkin. So now I had said that I was going to do a little bit of shading where the wire of the wreath form is here. And I hope I don't regret it because I actually love this pumpkin just as it is. And if I don't end up loving it, I'll just go ahead and make another one and then I'll have two that are a little bit different. But I am gonna try and add a little bit of white paint along these lines and we'll see how it turns out. Okay guys, so here is pumpkin number 2. I guess you could call it my boho pumpkin, but I absolutely love this. I fell in love with this rug when I saw it, and I never thought that I would use it on this pumpkin wreath form, but I absolutely love it, and I definitely will be making some more of these as well. And here you can see I used both of the ends of the rug with my tassels and I really love it. Now I would have been happy even just with the one at the top, but it's growing on me now, this one at the bottom. What I did do though is I did cut the tassels to go with the shape of the pumpkin, and I just think it adds a little bit more to the pumpkin. I'm glad that I was able to find this particular nautical rope at the Dollar Tree because I think that it goes so nice with the woven rug. I love the color. I think it is so warm and inviting for fall, and again, very inexpensive to put together, a lot of fun, and you get that high-end look, which we all love. Okay guys, so now moving on to the final pumpkin using the pumpkin wreath form. And again, very easy, very cost effective, and very fun to put together. This one's gonna be a little bit more time consuming, but it's easy nonetheless. So with this one here, I'm using again a pumpkin wreath form. I have this Harvest Blessing decor box. I have some extra pieces of either the nautical rope or the jute twine. I have to see if I have enough of the nautical rope. If I do, that's what I'll be using. And then another t-shirt from the Dollar Tree. Again, I always try to get the largest size so that I get the bigger bang for my buck. And I will be making a rag wreath. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to cut up the t-shirt and I'm going to be making strips that are 1.5 inches wide and 8 inches long. So I'm just going to cut the whole shirt up, and once I have my pile, I'm going to start tying them on my pumpkin wreath form. So I just wanted to point out that I finished doing one of the rows here of the metal, and what I found out is that One of these rows takes almost one full side of a shirt. So I didn't realize that I was going to need that many. And the only problem is when I did go to the Dollar Tree, I was only able to find the one orange shirt. So I do have to step out right now, and I'm gonna go and see if I can pick up some more orange shirts at the Dollar Tree. If I cannot find any more orange, because it is a harder color to find, at least at my Dollar Trees, then I'll probably just end up picking up some white shirts, and then I'll just mix the two together to make the pumpkin. Of course, you don't have to use t-shirts. Some of you may not even have t-shirts at your Dollar Tree. There's always other things that you can use. They do have the fabric rolls that the Dollar Tree carries. There is felt, so you could do it with that. You could pick up a tablecloth and cut up pieces of that and make it out of that if you want. I just came across the orange t-shirt and I really wanted to use the t-shirt. But unfortunately, it looks like I'm not going to be able to have enough to complete the whole pumpkin in the orange. So just to let you know, if you do want to make one of these out of a t-shirt, you just want to make sure that you get enough so that you can complete a pumpkin if you're looking for one full solid color. So we're just about done this final pumpkin. A couple things I need to do using my scrap pieces of nautical rope. So I took 2 equal lengths and I tied a knot at one end, and I'm just going to hot glue these one on each end on top of the decor box here, and then I'm going to loop it through the bottom of the pumpkin wreath form and glue that together so it's hanging underneath the pumpkin. And then I take another piece of scrap nautical rope and I'm just going to wrap it around the stem of the pumpkin, and that'll be it. I'll be done my final pumpkin. So in case you're wondering how many t-shirts I used, I'll just roughly give you an idea. So the top shirt, which was the orange, was an extra large, and it was an adult size. It was very, very large. The white shirts, I used 2 large, but they were a children's size large. And then I used the leftover of the first pumpkin that I made, the lighted up pumpkin, and it was about halfway down, front and back. So that just gives you an idea, but I always recommend when you go to Dollar Tree, always pick up the largest size shirt that you can find, because you're going to get more out of your $1 or $1.25 here in Canada with your fabric. You're just going to get a lot more. So I could have made it more full than what you see here, but I used up all the shirts that I purchased. So I think it's full enough. It really came out cute. I love how it came. It's hard to tell here, but once I hang it up, you'll be able to see it better. Guys, so here is pumpkin number 3 using the Dollar Tree pumpkin wreath form. And you know, at first I wasn't sure about this one, but I absolutely love it. I think it is so fun and colorful. The orange and the white together, I actually prefer it. I'm kind of glad now that I did mix both of the colors. I think the orange maybe would have been too orange and the white just would have been too plain, but I think together it ties the sign in really nicely. Of course, using the nautical rope and the burlap leaf, it just ties everything together so nicely, and I just love it. And I even love it here on my fireplace. I think it's just a really nice statement piece to place on there to add that pop of color. Well guys, I don't know, which of the 3 do you like the best? I'm having a really hard time deciding. All 3 were so fun to make, and they really are unique in their own way. Here I have the other 2 underneath so that you can see all 3 of them together. The first one there was really nice because it lights up, of course, and I just love the white pumpkins. But then the second pumpkin there in the boho look, I thought came out so pretty, and it really does look high-end. I think both of them do, perhaps all 3, but I don't know, I can't choose. I would love it if you'd comment in the comment section below, and let me know which of the 3 you like the best. I had a lot of fun making these pumpkins, and I hope that you were inspired by them, and possibly maybe you'll try them out for yourself. Well guys, that will do it for this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I would absolutely love and appreciate it. And of course, I would love it if you would share this video, as it greatly helps my channel. Well guys, you take care of yourselves, and I always hope to catch you in my next video. Take care guys. Bye-bye.